So mic check, sound check. I'm not even sure how I'm going to hear the sound. But fuck yeah, I'm live, man. It's been a minute and a half. I've been busy. I've been cooking up some shit. I've been preparing for new type of content, you know? Some meatballs. Meatballs! Yeah. Something young, something light. This is a stream via OBS, so let me check it out. Chat check. So this is the chat check. No, not chat check. Chat check. Oh shit. Oh, it's AI. I thought, what the heck? I thought I must be tripping, right? Okay, check is successful. Chat check has been successful. But my volume is a bit down, which is concerning the fact that my volume is this down. Check is successful. Check has been successful. But my volume is a bit down, which is concerning the fact. Okay. Screw the volume, man. Okay, how do I plan to do this? Yeah. I'll just say use your tablet because now my phone is on. No, not this one. Oh, come on. Oh, come on now. Okay, everything is a bit collected for now. Okay, Freddy. That's the channel, Freddy. Okay, select stream. Yeah. No, that's good. That is good. Now, then can I take it like this? Yes. Yeah. Fantastic stuff. You know. The only downside is that the stream is lagging. But maybe it is me. I'm not sure how. Refresh page, not that. Open studio. Now, it's not all this. Yes, I'm the owner. Okay, I'm just getting the control panel, which is a bit awkward, which is a bit weird. Mm, okay, I'm not sure if the current viewer is new or what, but welcome to the stream, man. It's going to be a very short and light stream, but it's going to be crazy because a lot of events in the upcoming few weeks when it comes to One Piece. But me personally, I have a feeling that there is going to be a lot of death in Elbaf, which is going to be very good because it's not going to be on the Straw Hat side of the picture. But I feel like it's going to be very heavy for the world government in Elbaf. I don't feel like Marriage Rice is going to be a very easy task for Imu to handle because, as we remember, Imu in the previous chapter, I think it was 1171, whereby Imu was scared and panting after Loki killed, who is this? Harald, you know? So when I was reading One Piece chapter 1172, the previous one, I was like, okay, what's going to happen in Elbaf going on? You know? And then I had a reminder, I had a slick reminder that Loki is capable of killing most of these people. Yeah. I just remembered that Loki is capable of killing God Knights. And I was like, yeah. So with Loki having the ability to kill, or of course to kill God Knights, you have to ask yourself, man, what is going to happen in Elbaf? Because Luffy is shocked too, you know, and I have a feeling that when Luffy says something like that, he's going to try something out crazy, which might be able to fight against Emu or something. We don't know. But with that being said, I feel like it's going to be a very, very insane moment when it comes to One Piece, man. But the biggest issue right now is which one of the God Knights is dying. You know, I feel like it is possible for both God Knights to die in the upcoming chapters because I feel like we have to see Loki do it in action. We really deserve to see a God Knight eat the dust, you know, because for a very long time, man, we haven't been able to put down these guys, man. We had them in Egghead Island. You know, Egghead Island was really crazy. Then you had all the Gorosei, five of them. You know, those guys were just undying, man. They were just recovering from each and every hit, each and every attack. So the question was, what do you do against this type of monsters? But now we have a solution, you know, and the solution is really simple and it's really powerful, man. So I really would like to see. I know for a fact that Emu is not staying in Elbaf. That I know for a fact that Emu is not going to last long in Elbaf. Emu is going to be sent packing in a very few chapters because Emu is going to sit and be like, okay, there is Joy Boy. Okay, maybe Emu won't see Joy Boy first, but Emu, of course, will see Joy Boy's crew, you know. I'm very sure that Emo might know some of the Straw Hat members. I know this might be delusional or this might sound delusional, but Emu certainly knows some of the Straw Hat members. You know, so when Emu sees Zoro or the other Straw Hats and be like, Luffy is here. Okay, that's a problem. And then you find out that the person who killed Harald is also here. You know, so it's going to be very insane because now all of the giants are charging against him and the world government. It's a war. They declared their war. Oh man, two groups have already declared war against the world government already. That's insane. But moving along, man, when you look at everything that's about to happen, you just feel like, okay, we're about to see giants in action. We're about to see why the giant race is so feared. You know, I really would like to see that. Are there few giants there, or do we have a lot of giants? Because if there are a few giants, it won't be really impactful. I don't wanna lie. It really won't be that much impactful. So I would like to see, man, some giants. I don't wanna lie. Come on. I would like to see a lot of giant warrior pirates, man. I'd like to see them. I don't know, like, not even giant warrior pirates, but giant warriors, in fact, you know. But I really am excited about Elbaf and what it has for us, in fact. But if you're just here, I might be waiting for the random viewers, or yeah, or the usual viewers, something like that. I'm waiting for those guys for us to begin the tier stream. But we're going to do a tier stream. And do I need to go to chapter 1172? Let me just go to it and then recap the chapter before we move on into predictions and all that. But my prediction is that it's going to get crazy, man, in the next two chapters. But yeah, welcome to jump into chat, man. Yeah. You can just join the chat. We don't bite. It's okay. And I had a lot of buggy theories, man. I had a lot of buggy theories. So the official chapter is out. Now this is good. So the cover page is one of the most greatest things about this chapter, don't I? Because Sing Pontley, man, it was really good, man. You know, the Elbaf I dreamed of is the title of the chapter. But Sing Pontley summarizes the whole entire chapter, man. Seeing Pontley there, I am really happy. I don't wanna lie. I'm not sure who else is excited about the appearance of Pontley, man, and other characters in the cover art, you know. But this fan request is really heavy and it cuts deep, man, because the situation we left Pontley in wasn't really good and wasn't really pleasing, even though Pontley did a lot for the Stride Pirates. So that's really something on its own, man. It is really crazy. But let's go to page number 1. So we start with Skopakapan giving out all the 3 foes. You know, they have three foes, and their mission is to kidnap 10 giant children. How does he know that they need 10? That's a very specific number. You know, 10. Okay, maybe it is really true. You cannot just take all the giants kids, you know. It's really like insane. But it raises the question of how many giant kids are there in Elbaf. Is it just 10, or are there a lot of giant kids? I'm not sure, man. I really am not that sure. Warning. What's the warning about, man? Okay, the connection is good. The connection is good. Let's check if there's a problem. The bitrate is lower than recommended. We recommend you use bitrate of 6800. And yeah, how do I set that, man? You know, if I need to change my bitrate, how do I change my bitrate? Okay, the chat check message is really spamming right now. There's no need for it to spam itself that much. Okay, you gotta go because it doesn't feel like you're offering anything impactful. Stream settings, stream latency and all that, stream health, analytics. No, this sucks. It has to go. So how do I decrease the bitrate? I'm not sure if I'm even able to or something like that. It said 6,000. Let's see what 6,000 is going to do. I feel like it's going to overpower the current stream. But let's find out, man. Let's find out. Let's see. Okay, back to the chapter, man. So they have three foes, and their mission is to kidnap 10 giant children. They mean to take the children to the Holy Land and use them as hostages. So we already covered the fact that this is not going to work by Jarul, but he will cover that in the upcoming pages. So to coerce the warriors of Elbaf into being their battle slaves. So this was their previous agenda. It's always going to be their agenda, man. The world government is not going to change their agenda at all. So how can a mere trio of humans run rampant over both the giant pirates and Mistea? That's a very great question. But we know these are not just mere humans, man. These are demons. These are the greatest foes of anyone in the One Piece world. So I'm sorry I've failed. I've failed you. Plain and simple. You say children, but these are giants, right? How are three humans our size going to carry these giant kids? The craziest thing is that they don't have to carry them. They just need to transport them by ship. That's Sanji asking that question. So Scopa just breaks it down that the woman of the trio has a strange power using arrows. It seems whatever the arrows point, the children are helpless, and they're helpless generally. They can't resist the arrows, which is something we've already seen. And they're walking carelessly towards the pod, or ceaselessly towards the pod. And then he explains that, but if that's all, whatever, whatever. I feel like this chapter is simple, man. This chapter is really fine for me, you know. But the best thing about this chapter starts when the speech commences. So Yarul is like, hear me, Elbaf. I wish to tell you everything before I die. So this is a very heavy moment for everyone who's watching this, because how does this old man know that he's going to die? How can he confirm the fact that he's going to die? Because it's not an easy solution to, or an easy thing to look forward to death like that. So our liege wise King Harald wished to bring Elbaf into the world government so that we might coexist with the rest of the world. Dot 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 from Imo. But on that fateful day, 14 years ago, he was betrayed and denied his wishes. Chief Yarul, I witnessed a demon slaughter Harald and the rest of his soldiers. Harald resisted bending the knee and handing over Elbaf to the demon. He fought and he died. What? I thought Loki killed the king. But if the people learn the truth, they will rise up in vengeance and become the warfaring nation that Harald did not desire. So this is the craziest thing, that while they tried to preserve Harald's destiny, not destiny, but Harald's hard work, like everything that Harald has achieved, they really failed to overlook and to prepare for the world government. I know that maybe Elbaf warriors are going to always have sharp weapons and things like that, man, but you cannot overlook the threat that the world government has, especially after what you saw with Harald and his undying mage. But knowing that you have Loki there, it's really something. So I held my silence. Loki, meanwhile, bore the rage of the nation upon his back and took to sea. You know, this is when everybody was shocked and realized that Loki is not such a bad kid after all. You know, he may be a tactless man, but Loki is innocent. A bit inaccurate, but a nice turn of phrase. Nicer than he deserves. Nah, Hydrogen is not giving his brother Loki any means of a break, you know. So, but today it seems though they had given up. Oh, it seems that though they had given up initially, they once again require our massive power. And thus, three demons have come back in an attempt to take over our country. Yon, I could take a nap and still complete this mission at this point. You know. So as we can see, Elbaf is already on fire, man. Everything is already going down in flames in Elbaf, and this is where things really, really get interesting, you know, because this is where the declaration of war comes. You know, so I don't know how this is going to sum up the situation between Imu and Mangiti Luffy, because we all know that Luffy declared his war against the world government a very, very long time ago. You know, it's something that's already out there and known. So I just am willing to see. I'm excited, in fact, to see how Emu is going to look at this and how Emu is going to take this. You know, is Emu going to take it lightly, or is this going to come with really, really hard repercussions, man? So the declaration of war goes like this, you know. So listen up, you devils. If you spare the children's lives, we will freely give up our culture and history. But if you think you've broken our spirit, you are sorely mistaken. Do not expect Harold's patience from us. So the craziest thing is that they are still willing to give up their culture, man. You know, they are willing to give up their culture and their history, which is the very, very big part of Elbaf, because they are an undying civilization. Elbaf is just an ageless group of people. That's what Emu called them, in fact, you know. Emu said it himself that Elbaf is just ageless people. So it's crazy that they are willing to give their history, and that's all they have. That's all they got. You know, that's all that they have backing them. Okay, let me justify a bit back here. Okay, okay. Excellent connection. Okay. So moving on, you think you can rule over us and enslave us? Who do you think you're talking to? So this is the part that gets Usopp going, man. This is the part where everyone is really, really hyped about, you know. I'm sorry, children, I must ask you to cover your ears now, you know. That's right, Jarul. You tell him. The Elbaf I dreamed of doesn't bow to anyone. You know, so this is where the title of the chapter comes from. If the world is destined to be split in two, as Halley's prophecy suggested, I need to go back to full screen. Then Elbaf shall be an enemy to the world government. So it's crazy how Yarul has accurately deduced the situation, man. But this man has been alive for a very long time. And I think he's seen the repercussions of being aligned with the world government and what it actually means or it actually entails, you know. So then Elbaf shall be an enemy to the world government. I'm really waiting to see that. So did you think that Thorns Thorns reverse and illusions would cause us to submit to your joke? What? How much does the old man know, man? I like that old man. 3 centuries ago he was the strongest man on the sea, on this sea. I would like to see that. I don't know. I would like to see that. We will never give up into your Am I wrong? All you proud warriors of Elbaf. You damn right, Chief. Ah, the Elbaf I love is back. Fine, fine, fine. Just think of a way to off. Just think of a way to undo these errors. Protect the peace that Harold envisioned. Rara. Okay, whatever. We've caught up. Watch out that they don't trap you between them. I've got a plan. Okay. So that's the end of the chapter, man. But that was a very cool chapter. It was a calm chapter. And then it's time to move on to the tier stream, man. I feel like it's time for me to do the tier because I'm not sure if the boys are going to show up or something like that. So I just gotta keep on going, man. I just gotta keep on going. Copy. Sentry. Sentry. Display capture. Okay, video capture. Yes. And then I just paste. Okay. Okay, I feel like I am ready. Okay, One Piece tier list. Mm. Okay, so now comes the hardest part, man. Choosing the. Okay, do I start by an arc or do I just do 120 top One Piece characters? One Piece all characters. The Straw Hat Pirates, chapter 100. Okay, let's start with the One Piece power scaling. Nah. This is going to be tough to keep in one frame. All characters. Let's see this one. This one is fire. I don't know. I can also zoom in a bit. Can zoom in a bit. Yeah. But it seems like we have all the characters here. And I'm really excited to see what we're going to get as a result. But who is this guy? You guys can't see much. Yeah. I have to move my camera to somewhere. Not the display capture. Dummy. Yeah. I feel like this is going to be a good spot. I have to move my. Okay, I don't know this guy. So I'm going to put them on D tier. The D tier list is going to be very, very long. So this guy is a loser, man. This man betrayed his first mate. So I don't feel like I respect this guy as a character, as an individual. I'm not even sure who his name is. So I'm just going to skip characters I don't know, man. Let's just do it like that. Or characters that are not important, we're going to skip them. For the characters, we don't take them. Okay. So the kid from Skypiea, I forgot the name of this kid, but the kid from Skypiea is S tier. Some might argue that she is A tier, B tier, or C tier, you know. But the kid from Skypiea has a lot going on, going for her, you know, resulting to her being one of the greatest characters in One Piece history. I think we can all agree that much, you know. So I'm going to put her at. Okay, let's put her in the middle because she's still a baby. She's still a kid. We don't know much about her. And then the Marines, we don't know much about those characters first. And then we have King. King of the Beast Pirates. I have to say. King is a tier character for me. You know, I don't know much about King. I don't know much about Lunarians, but I know that King is a very A tier character, even though he has a lot of development for him, you know. But if he develops to the full extent, you know, he cannot be a man that worships Kaido to he cannot dig suck Kaido, man. That has to stop. I feel like if King becomes his own character, his own individual, and maybe upheld his own responsibilities, you know, because King can't die now, man. You know, in fact, for me, King shouldn't be allowed to fight any further because this man is one of the extinct races in One Piece. You know, so King has to step aside and just stay in prison for now. You know, but let's put King in A tier, man. You know, because King is a vice captain, he has all the qualities. And then Katarina Devon, I have to say, Katarina Devon, one of the biggest crew members of the Baggy Pirates, you know, because all of the Baggy Pirates are trash. Even though she's not officially a Baggy Pirate or what's Baggy's crew? I don't even know what the name of Baggy. Oh, it's Cross Guild. She's part of the Cross Guild crew, you know. So as part of the Cross Guild crew and her history, man, I feel like she's a very good character. You know, she's come back from really tight positions. She was ugly as fuck, you know. And then she ate a devil fruit and then she became slippery. She has fine skin. She has smooth skin, man. It's very good. So I'm going to put her as a B tier. I'm not sure how B is for Katarina Devon, but I feel like she deserves it. I feel like it's justified to have her at B tier, you know. She's a perfect character. She's very good, man. She's very good. And then I don't know many of these. Arlong, okay. Arlong. So Arlong is a very sucking character. You know, I don't like Arlong. I don't like Arlong. He doesn't have much for him, but I will have to respect him because unlike his younger brother, who is he? The one in Fishman, you know, he didn't eat any drugs. He didn't take any steroids. You know, so Arlong is a very G. If only he had his mind straight, you know. But the way he doesn't impact One Piece in a very impactful manner, you know. So I have to put him on C tier or even D. Like even D is good for Arlong because right now he doesn't have a lot for him. He doesn't have a lot going for him. So D tier, D tier. I don't care. But if you're in chat, you can just drop your thoughts, man. You can just drop your thoughts. Arlong D tier. We don't. I don't vibe with Arlong. Should I know this kid? Because oh, I know this guy. So this guy was with the fake straw hats, and when they were assembling their crews and all that, because he was a monumental character there, and he got duped. He deserves to be in D tier. I remember this guy. It was in Ennis Lobby during the reunion of the Straw Hats. So this guy is in D tier because he's a bum, but I feel like he's a very big character, and we're going to see him in the future. You know, like in the final war or somewhere where it would be important in the story because he seems like a very strong guy. You know, so I know that having him in the war is going to be very insane. It's going to be crazy. So let's move on. I don't know this animal. Okay, fuck the animal. Oh, Nakamushi from Wano. Is this Nakamushi? I'm not sure. But I think this is one of the scabbards from Wano, you know. So I'm also going to put this guy in A tier, you know, because of the struggles he's gone through as one of the scabbards of the Daimayo or something. I don't know what Odin is. Bohu. So let's just put him in B tier. I feel like BTI is okay. BTI is not that toxic, you know. BTI is fine. And then we have this guy from the Blackbeard Pirates. Am I supposed to know you? Not as much. But this guy is supposed to go to B tier, you know. He's from the Blackbeard Pirates. I don't know his name. Let me check the Blackbeard Pirates. Black Blackbeard Pirates. Let's check it out quickly. What up, Chad? Everyone who's new, man, can join in on the tier list, man. Let me hear your thoughts. Give me 5 minutes, you know. Come on, I need Blackbeard's crew in one piece. Oh, it's Jesus Beggars, Van Agua, Avelo Pizarro. Is this Pizarro? Is this Avalo Pizarro? I'm not sure, but I know he's a Blackbeard pirate. But if you're a part of the Blackbeard pirate, I don't fuck with you that much because I feel like you're going to betray my guy Teach, like the Rocks Pirates did, you know. So you still have to earn my respect if you're from the Blackbeard Pirates. I won't lie. But I have important. Okay, first we have to start with the ship. You know, I feel like the ship we've seen it somewhere in Wano, so I'm going to put it in C tier because I know it was really important for us to see it there. And then we have people from the Doflamingo family. Is it? Oh no, it's actually from Crocodile's crew. What was Crocodile's crew? I fucking forgot. But is it Crocodile or is it Dof? This one is from Doflamingo's crew, you know? But she's the girl with the weapons, devil fruit, and she is really, really important when it comes to One Piece. She is one of the best characters I've ever seen, you know, so she deserves the B tier. This woman falls in the B tier because everything she's been through with Law, acting like she doesn't like Law while she has a sweet spot for Law and all that. And she's married to one of the Straw Hat Fleet members. Is it the Grand Fleet or something? So she is an ally of the Straw Hats now, you know, and it's going to be crazy because she's a very, very good character, man. I feel like she's very monumental, you know. She's very, 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 very good, very good. And then this guy, this guy, I feel like a C tier is really good for him. I don't want to lie, chat. C tier for this guy is really justified, you know. I won't lie, because of he has an animal devil fruit or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know, his weapon ate a devil fruit or something like that. Whatever. And then we have Baggy the Genius Jester. Come on. Come on now. I feel like it's too early for me to talk of Baggy, man. So Baggy deserves an S tier. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think. Few characters in the One Piece world are in Baggy's stature, you know? Even Mihawk, even Crocodile tried to vibe with this guy, but nah, man. They're just messing with the flow right now, you know? But Baggy is an S tier character because besides being strong, you know, it doesn't amount to his character. You know, everyone can be a Baggy at this point. You know, you just put on the makeup, you put on the costume. It's like Joker at this point. You know, I feel like Baggy is a very, very important character, and if you are going to get another story of One Piece, or maybe get a story of a character in One Piece, it should be Baggy. I beg it, it should be Baggy. But crazy enough, Baggy is going to be in S tier, you know, because I feel like he has a very, very strong opportunity of being the king of the pirates. You know, he has the energy, he has the vibe, he has everything written for him. So if I have to say, if it's up to me, Baggy is S tier, man. Baggy is S tier. And then this is Stussy, right? This is Buckingham Stussy, the real OG Buckingham Stussy. Okay, because it's Stussy and she's an OG, we're going to put her at C tier because she's not that important. But the clone Stussy is really, really important. You know, it's really important. Is there someone I should be resembling here? I have no one except Kuma. You know, Kuma, another S tier character, man. Kuma is an S tier character because now we know that everything in this story is built off his back, man. Everything that says One Piece was built off Kuma's back. Everything One Piece is Kuma's back, man. Everything, the slavery, it's not justified because of what Kuma went through. I'm not saying slavery is justified at any point in time, but Kuma just covers it all. So I put Kuma on S tier. S tier. Maximum or minimum. S tier Kuma. And then Bartholomew. Mm, the leader of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Okay, let's put him on B tier. I put Bartholomew on B tier because we have to be respectful to everyone else in the character. Bartholomew is us, the fans. So he reserves. Oh, he reserves. He deserves our respect as a One Piece character. Because he represents us as the fan, and the love we have for the Straw Hats. I don't say that Dick Riding is good, no, but Bartholomew is a B tier character. And then we have this guy who died in Wano. We're gonna put him in C tier. He died. We don't have much for him. Maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's not dead. I don't know, but we don't have much with him. We have to put him aside. I feel like this guy we've met in the Colosseum, you know, this is just straightforward. This is a fodder character. This is a straight up fodder character. Okay. Oh, we have the bad guy from Wano. The bad guy from Wano. So this guy is going to be on C tier. No, D tier. You know, this guy is just fodder. He has nothing in the story, and we don't need guys like him in One Piece. But the Sea Beast, man, the Sea Beast is crazy. The Sea Beast is crazy because it took Shanks's arm, and okay, no spoilers. This is just a tier list. No spoilers. No spoilers is a tier list. No spoilers. Okay, fine. So the Sea Beast, I'm going to put it at D tier because I feel like we're going to see this exact Sea Beast in the future. It's not the last time you see that Sea Beast, man. I really believe that it's not the last time. It can't be. It can't be. And then the announcer for Wano. I don't know if she was the announcer or if she was the camera, but I believe that everything we were seeing in Wano was through this eye. So I'm going to put her at A tier, you know, because the cameraman never dies, the announcer never dies. So we need to put some respect on her and her mission on one because she was relaying information to the world government, to us, the viewers, and to everything. So this was a different perspective to get from one. I don't wanna lie. So she played a very important role in One Piece generally. She was like a commentator or something like that. With I think she was with CP0 or something like that. But this was a very, really, really, really good character in One Piece. And then we have Nami's mom. I forgot her name. Her name is it? What's Nami's mom? Chet, help me out, man. What's Nami's mom's name? What's her name? I was thinking about her not so long ago, man. What's her name? What's her name? Come on, Chet. Help a brother out. But I'm going to put her at B tier, because I feel like she's a very, very monumental character when it comes to One Piece. She is the one that saved the person who is going to navigate the entire One Piece world. She is Nami's mom, which is really important, and I hope that Nami's sister plays a very important role too in the future. But moving on, let's just move on to the next characters. Bellamy, oh, this guy is trash. Bellamy is trash, man. Bellamy is so trash. I don't wanna lie. Bellamy is just trash. Bellamy is trash. I wouldn't want to see Bellamy even in my dreams, man. I feel like Bellamy sucks. Yeah, Bellamy sucks, man. So I might put Bellamy on. Let's see. Let's put Bellamy on C tier, man. Because he's still a piece of shit, and we gotta see if Bellamy is going to change or not. But the current Bellamy, man, I wouldn't like him, and I don't rate him much. Do I? Oh, this Tantara woman. Is this the one that was with Zoro? I'm not sure. It might be Zoro, or is she part of Shanks's fleet? I'm not sure, but she deserves seats here with the fodder characters, all of the fodder characters. It's crazy that one of the worst generation members is also in the C tier list. It's just insane. It's just crazy. Okay, I think I'm going to do 120 top One Piece characters. Yeah, I feel like this is a no. Which one has the young here? Power scaling. Yeah, no. The power scaling might do really well, but I feel like it sucks, man. The power scaling one, like high top tier, mid top tier, low top tier, I feel like those are really, really One Piece arcs. No, One Piece 120 top characters. Can't we have top 10? Okay, yeah, One Piece power scaling. Yeah, this one is a bit better. This one is a bit better. Like, let's go, man. Oh, off the bed, off the rip, we get Akaino Sakazuki. So we have to be honest. Sakazuki is an A tier, man. I feel like Sakazuki is an A tier. But Sakazuki also has a lot to develop, man. Sakazuki has to develop, like, really, really impactfully. I feel like it would be justified to put Sakazuki in B tier. Akainu is one of the worst dipshits in One Piece. But for the respect, just to respect the fleet admiral, I'm going to put him in B tier. No, A tier. Yeah, I feel like A tier is okay, because the only display of power we have from Sakazuki is from what's this? We only got display of power from Sakazuki in the war, in War of the Best. I feel like that's the only part of Sakazuki that's important right now. And the fact that he's a fleet admiral and he claims he cannot do much, whatever, which sucks. And then Admiral Green Bull, I don't wanna lie, this man is really powerful, because well, people would look at Green Bull from one and be like, nah, Green Bull is ass, man. Green Bull is. Yeah, I feel like I can go back down to the corner. I feel like if I take this corner, I'll be okay. If I take this corner, I'll be okay. No, the chat has to remain there. I'll leave the chat there, the top right corner. No, but that is going to be putting it in the direct line of. Hello? Man? No. 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 Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna move chat to the bottom section, you know, and just hope and pray that, oh man, there's no way I can put chat in there. Okay, so let's just take the right side, man. I feel like the right side is going to be fine. I'll put it over. Yeah, just put it over the webcam, and then pray that that will be okay, man. No, and pray. But yeah, we were still talking about Vice Admiral Greenpool, which is really, really a very interesting topic, man. This man has one of the most broken devil fruit powers, man. And it's going to be a hard one to fight against it, because I don't feel like Haki necessarily will be the key to overwhelm his devil fruit totally. I don't feel like that's possible. But this man has a very broken devil fruit and he can do a lot with it, So I'm going to put him in B tier. I feel like Green Bull and B tier is not that much of a hassle. And then we have Teach. Oh man, this is a very tough debate, because this is going to leave me in a situation whereby I feel like I would be comparing characters a lot, Teach the last time he wasn't ready to go against Akainu, but we don't know now in current events, is he ready to go against Akainu? Some people might be like, he's not ready for the fleet admiral, whatnot, whatnot, but I feel like he's ready right now, man. I feel like he's got time to absorb his devil fruit and instinctively learn more about them. So I'm going to put Teach in A tier because we know that he's a Davy now and we have more proof to back him up, So Teach on A tier is fine. I hope no one is insulted with that, but Teach is going to be okay there. And then we have Ben Beckman. Then Beckman, man, I feel like he deserves to be in A tier. Beckman deserves to be in A tier, but because this is a power scaling, no, man. Let me see who else is here. Let's see who else is here. Hmm. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm still in the right, I feel like I'm in the right. Yeah. Yeah, everything is still okay. Okay, Ben Beckman, I'm going to put him in B tier. There's a lot to say about Ben Beckman, but I feel like he can just he's a man of of his stature, man. That's what I can say, man. Ben Beckman is promised to be one of the strongest One Piece characters, totally, generally. So Ben Beckman, I'm not sure if he's going to be that strong or what, but there's a lot of hype behind Ben Beckman. And then we have to go with Charlotte Linden. Uh, I don't like this woman, I have to say. Charlotte Linden, I don't like her, but I feel like she's going to be. Thank you for the likes, boys. Thank you for the likes. I feel like Charlotte Linden is going to play a very, very big role in One Piece. She might be dead, she might not be dead, but I feel like she is a very important figure in One Piece, looking at the flashbacks and all that. But I would like to see her come back, because there aren't that many Conqueror's Haki users, So having Linden back in the final war would be really, really awesome. So we're going to put Linden in A tier. That's where Teach is, that's where Akainu is. I feel like that's fair. I feel like that's fair. To anyone who thinks otherwise, nah, man, there's something wrong with you. And then we have Hemcock, we have Boa herself, the Empress, I have to put her in B tier, man. You know, I'm not saying that she's as strong as Ben Beckman or anything like that, but I feel like she's a very important character in One Piece, man. She leads the Kuja pirates, and we've seen how strong they are, man. You cannot underestimate Kuja pirates. They are really strong haki users, and they will come in clutch in the final war. So Boa Hancock as an empress, as a leader, as someone who is an ally for Straw Hat, as a conqueror's haki user. She has a bastard devil fruit. She's beautiful, she's sexy. What else do you want from a woman? She is the empress, so I'm going to put her in B tier, man. Like, I need to stop yapping a lot. I'm going to put her in B tier. So this guy is the last of the B tier, so let's fix that. Okay, so yeah, I feel like the A tier is okay. And then Cracker, I feel like Cracker is a D tier. In this list, Cracker is a D tier, man. There is no way Cracker is going to be way more impactful than he already is. No ways. And then I have Crocodile. Man, in my own way and in my own words, man, I feel like Crocodile is B tier. I feel like people might look at Crocodile and be like, Crocodile is the first character Luffy bid when he was a pirate, but as a warlord, man, and as the first opponent to go down to Luffy's blood armor, I feel like we underestimate him. Crocodile is really crazy and he's really powerful too, his devil fruit and all that. We don't know if he has Haki. I really wish he lands Haki or something like that. But Crocodile for me is a B tier, and now that he's with Cross Guild, man, I have a lot of hype and my stocks are on Crocodile, man, so I'm going to stop yapping and put Crocodile on B tier. It's justified. Doflamingo, B tier too, man. As a warlord, oh, but it will seem like Ben Beckman is weak, man. Ben Beckman with the likes of nah, but this is a very tough list, So I feel like Ben Beckman there is not a bad thing, man. I feel like Ben Beckman there is not a stretch, Doflamingo, we're going to put him in B tier too, man, because of what he knows and what he can do. You have to appreciate the possibilities too. You really gotta appreciate the possibilities too when it comes to Doflamingo. What if he escapes? What if he reveals more information about Marijuana, But Doflamingo as an individual is crazy. But we have a seraphim of Doflamingo, not Dora. We have a seraphim. What up, Killer? What up, Killer? What up? Welcome to you. Welcome. So Doflamingo, I feel like in PTA is going to be a very good guy there. And then Dragon, so when it comes to Dragon, I feel like Dragon has to be stronger than Yonkos. Dragon has to be stronger than Akainu. Dragon has to be stronger than Teach right now. I know that is a crazy, crazy, crazy bar for Dragon, but I feel like Dragon has to be S tier, man. Dragon has to be S tier, man, because of but that's very okay, okay. Maybe Teach is not the man he's supposed to be. But what if Dragon is ready? Because Dragon is not the type of person to rush into things, So I feel like Dragon is an S tier character and one of the only few S tier characters that we have at the moment, because his devil fruit is crazy. He can control the weather, he can I feel like with his devil fruit he can formally create floods, because with insane winds, with insane temperatures on the sea, you can have floods. But I don't know what else he can do, But I know that he's a Conqueror's user for sure. He uses Conqueror's haki without a doubt. What up? What up, G? What up? Let me check. there's something. Oh, they can't put in an emoji. Okay, so I thought you were saying something. No stress. And then Admiral Fujitora. I don't wanna lie, Fujitora to me is an A tier, you know? But there's a possibility for Fujitora to be an S tier. I don't wanna lie, you know? There's something about Fujitora that puts him up there. You know, of course he doesn't have his vision. He can see though, you know, but the way he sees things is a very much different from other people in One Piece, you know. But Fujitora, man, let's put him in A tier. You know, I feel like this man is as strong as it can get when it comes to One Piece, you know. He's way stronger than Green Bull. He might be as strong as Akainu. Blackbeard, I'm not so sure if he can take on Blackbeard, but Big Mom for sure. Big Mom for sure. Big Mom he can. Big Mom he can take for sure, man. I feel like Fujitora can take down Big Mom. And then Gab Chujo. The old Gab needs to go to B tier, you know. And then Prime Gab. Wow, insane. We're picking. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make this a tier list, man. You cannot have a tier list alone, you know. You need to have people to discuss this with. We need to debate these characters. We all love these characters, ladies and gentlemen. Is this power scaling rankings? Yes, it is, G. It is, boys, and welcome to the power scaling. I'm just putting characters in, you know. But let me just recap for those who are going to chill and stick around, you know. In D tier we only have Cracker, you know, because Cracker is a bomb. I feel like it just can produce infinite crackers, which are tasty in Luffy's words, you know. But Cracker is a bomb for me. In C tier I don't have anyone as of yet. But in B tier I have Ben Beckman, I have Boa Hancock, I have Crocodile, I have Doflamingo, I have Green Bull, I have Gap. You know, but if Ben Beckman wasn't in the Red Hair Pirates, he might have been a Yonko or a Warlord, you know. So it's crazy. So let's just continue to the A tier. We have Akainu, Blackbeard, we have Big Mom, we have Fujitora, which is fair. And S tier, we have Dragon, Monkey D Dragon. He's the only guy in S tier. And then Gap Prime, we know that this is not the Prime Gap, but we don't know anything more about Gap's Prime, you know. But in his prime, he couldn't do anything against Emu, you know. So we're going to rank Prime Gap in A tier because he couldn't scar Emu and he couldn't do much against Emu, you know. I'm not sure as to the entire series, but Gap wouldn't do anything to Emu. Gap wouldn't scratch Emu, like, without a doubt. There, I'm just straight up there. And then we move right straight to Emu. Right straight to Emu. Crocodile, Dofi, and Boa, same tier as Ben. Yeah, dog. Green Bull and Old Gap. Okay, let me justify that, you know. So why I am putting Ben Beckman in this list is because we don't know much about Ben Beckman, you know, and I don't want to put a lot of people in the A list. Okay, but Ben Beckman there is blasphemy. Yeah, Ben Beckman there is blasphemy because this man is rumored to be the same power as Shanks, you know. But I put him in B tier because I thought he's the strongest in the B tier category. You know, if I have Green Bull there and Old Cap there, man, and Doflamingo and Crocodile, those two guys are busted, man. I feel like we just beat them at the wrong time, and you know, the situation of the battle wasn't fully set up for them. You know, the Doflamingo fight was just unfair because you had Law, you had Luffy. It was just a jumping basically, you know. But these guys are strong. These guys are strong. I'm not sure. Okay, but because you raised the point, I'm going to move Ben Beckman up to A list. We're going to set Ben Beckman as our A list. You know, we're going to welcome Ben Beckman as A list. You know, but we move on to Emu. Oh my God, Emu is an S tier without a doubt. You know, Dragon needs to step aside a bit. But Emu is S tier and no one can convince me otherwise, man. You know, there's no bigger threat in One Piece than Emu. You know, because if Joy Boy's Haki was that powerful, if that was Joy Boy's Haki in Egghead Island, then we are cooked if we're going to face Emu. You know, which is going to be in the upcoming. Yo, April is getting closer and closer, man. We're getting the return of One Piece again. Oh, it just shows we're just dramatic, man. We're just dramatic. But Emu is S tier, man. Emu is a very powerful character. You know, we've seen the God Knights, we've seen the Gorosei and how strong they are. You know, so we just need to know what Emu is lacking. You know, because it feels like Emu doesn't have a suitable vessel or something like that. You know, it feels like we're going down that line. You know. But we move on to Jack the Ripper. So we're going to have our first sit here character, man. You know, but I respect Jack to what he did to the Mink tribe. You know, because Jack, one man, almost wiped out the entire Mink tribe. Which you have to agree that's crazy, you know, because Jack as an individual is way, way too busted. I know he was there with his crew, but now who is this Dogstorm or is it Cat Viper or whatever, you know, but the leaders of the Mink tribe weren't that weak, man. You know, so Jack taking out the Mink tribe like that was insane, man. I really have to respect him like that. And then Jinbei. Jinbei, that's how Nami calls him. We're going to put him in B tier. I feel like this is it B tier? No, man. Jinbei and Doflamingo, but they are the same crew, man. They are the same crew, man. We have to put him here. But Green Bull, nah, man. Do we keep Green Bull in B tier? Jack one shots Doflamingo, by the way. No ways, dog. There is no way Jack can one shot Doflamingo. I cannot see that happening. No ways. You know, Jack's devil fruit is powerful and all that, but no ways, dog. I feel like Doflamingo would. No. Like, you're telling me that you would bring an elephant to fight Doflamingo. He would slash that bitch up in pieces. This is Dofi, you know? This is a man who controls strings, not just any strings, but they're sharp, you know, they're tough. They can be coated with Conqueror's Haki, which is something that Jack doesn't have. So for me, Doflamingo wins without a doubt. There is no way that Jack one shots Doflamingo. No ways. Again, and then Jozu, we're gonna put Jozu in not in C, yeah, in C tier, man. We're gonna put Jozu in C tier. This is becoming shadier and shadier by the second. But Diamond Jozu is going to be in C tier because the only feat we have from this guy is him stopping Mihawk's slash. You know, besides that, we have nothing on Diamond Jozu. And then we have Kaido, the man who once mentioned that Haki transcends everything. I have double chat. I have double chat right now. I just saw that. I have double chat. So let's just move this one out of the way. And is this okay here? I feel like this is going to be fine here, chat. I'm just going to put above me and then continue. Yeah, man. Like Kaido, King of the Beast. Kaido is almost S tier, man, but we know how it all ended with him and his pirate member. Jack survived from Zunisha. I don't see Dofi doing that. That's legit though. And as to how did Jack survive that calamity, I'm not sure, man. Who did Jack fight in Wano? Let me search. Who did Jack fight in Wano? That will say a lot, you know. Because if I think it is Frankie in One Piece, the antagonist in Wano, he's one of the giant grouper fisherman and captain of the mammoth, acting as the de facto ruler of Kuri region in Wano under Cairo. I feel like he fought the leaders of the Mink tribe, right? If nah, man, those guys are dying when they fight Doflamingo, without a doubt. So the way he went out says a lot about him. Because losing to the two leaders of the Minks, I know those guys are top notch characters and all that, but I wouldn't lose to the scabbards of Odin, man. I wouldn't say Doflamingo would lose to Jack like that. You know, it's impossible, man. I don't see it happening. But Kaido is going to A tier, man. Kaido is going to be one of the leaders of A tier. I feel like this man would beat up Sakazuki without a doubt because Kaido is insanely durable. Even Sakazuki is insanely durable too. But it is what it is. And then we have Katakuri. Okay, he's not Yonko tier. Let's just put it. At this point, the A list is just a Yonko tier, and then the B list is Warlord tier, and then the C is just the Dead Mate or the Wings, maybe the Wings level, and then D is just a strong pirate member. It's just like that. And then I'm going to put Katakuri in C, in B tier, or in the B list, because he is insanely powerful, and the fact that he can foresee the future. He can see really, really far into the future. That makes him a very one-in-one character. It makes him a one-in-one character, which I don't wanna lie. I feel like Kid is not in this guy's level, but he is 3 billion. He has a 3 billion bounty going for him, so we're going to perch Kid in the B list, because he's not a Yonko tier guy. He's not going to fight against Yonkos in his lifetime. I don't think it's happening. So Killer is going to be C or D, somewhere there. But Killer is not surviving Jack the Ripper. So we're going to put Killer on D tier. So this says a lot about Kid's crew, man. I don't believe they're that weak, but I don't feel like Kid deserves to be in a very higher situation than he is already. I feel like this is fair for Killer. And then King is B, because mostly it's because of his genes, man. It's because of he's a Lunarian, and not everyone can deal with a Lunarian. But the fact that Zoro is the one that took him out doesn't back him up a lot, man. I feel like it's just shaky for Killer. Killer is BC tier, somewhere there. And then Kizaru. So the craziest thing about this man is that he is A tier and he hasn't awakened his devil fruit. Admiral Kizaru. This guy is way too strong, man. I saw in Egghead Island. At first I thought that Kizaru is not that strong and Luffy was going to deal with him easily or something like that. But I feel like if Luffy was fighting in base form, he would have dealt with Kizaru better. But we all know Luffy is the man he is. He used Gear 5 and that became wacky and out of character and all that. So yeah, man, it's King and... Oh, we were talking about Kizaru. Kizaru is A tier, man. Kizaru is fast as shit. Is fast. And then Kuma. Kuma is... Oh, man. Kuma is A tier, man. Bro, where is NL? Is NL around? There is no NL. It seems NL is not considered as one of the strongest One Piece characters. It doesn't seem like it. Okay, Kuma is going to be a tier character. Hi G, hi, welcome to chat, boys, welcome to chat. Kuma, I feel like Kuma is an A tier, man. Kuma is the type of guy to move even though his memory has been wiped out, man. Kuma moved to save his kid after being wiped out. Like, this man was dead. He was supposed to be dead. Not strongest, bro. Not strongest, bro. You have One Piece knowledge. Yeah, I do have some One Piece knowledge. Hi, G. Hi, Adit. Hi. To everyone who just joined the stream, greetings to you. But who is not the strongest to you? I'm not sure. But Kuma is not the strongest characters that we've come to meet. Akainu is S tier, right? No, Akainu is not S tier, man. I feel like Akainu wouldn't beat Dragon, and Akainu wouldn't do anything against Imo. So Akainu is not. Why is Dragon at S tier and Akainu at A tier? I feel like Dragon might be the only character that has the power to go against him. You know, Dragon might be the character that has the devil fruit that Rox was looking for to make a revolution. So I feel like Dragon is the only character that we can put in S tier right now because we don't know about him at all. You know. NL is grinding in the moon. Let's hope NL comes with something insane. Like, NL needs to come with something that will be a ancient weapon of this generation. I feel like we cannot survive with the Poseidon and all those previous ancient weapons or weapons. They are not enough to fight this battle. We need something new, and I hope NL has been cooking something, man. That's true, man. NL is grinding there. And then Kuzan is 8 tier. Yes, Kuzan is 8 tier, but because he's lazy, no, we cannot put Kuzan and B tier, man. Not a bad list. Yeah, it's not that bad, gee. I really appreciate that because I was starting to think it's looking a bit shady. I was feeling like it's, you know. But I'm gonna put Kuzan in A tier, man. Because I feel like after Teach, he's the strongest Blackbeard pirate crew or pirate member, whatever. So that's where I'm going to put him. And then Law. Oh my. I feel like Law is B tier too, man. Law is B tier. I feel like Law has a very. Law needs to learn Devil Fruit. Not Devil Fruit, but Haki. Yeah, the only thing that makes NL weak is that he does not have armament and conqueror's haki. Yeah, that's the only downside with NL, and you know that he can have. Maybe he does have them, because don't forget that the time we met NL, haki wasn't such a thing in One Piece, So Oda made sure to hide certain aspects of haki. We hadn't seen them, but I feel like NL has all those in the bag. NL might have armament haki, like Conqueror's haki. NL has it, man. Like, tell me something. NL, I feel like NL is that type of guy. Even Law, I feel like since we saw that Law has some amount of haki, if he trains his haki, Law can come back as A tier because his devil fruit is busted, man. Even as a B tier, like if Law just masters haki and then we are done. So we have Lucky Roo, so I'm going to put Lucky Roo in A tier too. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to put him in B tier. No, man. Why am I pondering and putting Leroux in B tier or A tier? It's because they said that everyone in the Red Hair Pirates is strong. Everyone, so there is no weak characters in the Red Hair Pirates, So let me just put him in B tier. For argument's sake. I'm just doing this for argument's sake. He could have become a Yonko. Who Law? Law could have become a Yonko. I don't want to lie. But it feels like Law has a death sentence on him. Ever since we were introduced to Law, man. Ever since Law was a kid with Rosinante, he survived death at a young age. His entire clan got wiped out, man. The water tribe of the D got wiped out, So Law has a death sentence on him because we thought that the devil fruit was going to save Law, but it just doomed him to death via the immortality surgery. So Law has a very short life ahead of him. It's very short. And then of course, Straw Hat Luffy, I'm going to put him ahead of Teach, you know. And Kaido has to be this side. Kaido has to be this side, yeah. I feel like this. Mm, yeah, Luffy is stronger than Teach. I think we can all. Which country are you from, bro? I'm from South Africa, G. I'm from the southern hemisphere of Africa. My country is South Africa. It's not just directions to where my country is. The name of my country is also actually South Africa. So we have Magellan. Okay, I was still talking about Luffy. I feel like Luffy is stronger than Kaido and Blackbeard because he has more battle sense for him, you know. I feel like Kaido was a feared character after from the Rocks Pirates, you know, because Kaido coming out from the Rocks Pirates, I feel like he intimidated a lot of characters, and let's just put him as a Yonko. It was easy for Kaido to grow his power. That's what I'm just trying to say, you know, because his peers, your Whitebeard, your Lin Lin, your Big Mom were feared, you know. If you fear Big Mom and you fear Whitebeard, it doesn't make sense for anyone to go and fight Kaido. It's just the same pirate crew. Everyone might think we're going to get fucked, you know. And then we move on to Magellan. You know, Magellan is a special character. Magellan is a very, very special character, and I'm going to put him in B tier, you know, because we haven't seen much from him. That's the only reason why he's in B tier. But Magellan Man can be a very, very difficult opponent in the final war. Why the hell is Kuma A tier? He is not beating characters like King, Law, and Gap. Now I'm starting to doubt, my guy. I'm starting to doubt Kuma as the second mate of Dragon. Chief, you know, when it comes to Kuma, we all thought Kuma was weak and all that, but we don't know the real Kuma fighting. Chief. We've never seen a fight from the real Kuma because every Kuma we've seen battle right now is a cyborg. You know, there's always been something hindering Kuma, but Kuma is the type of guy to one hit. Yeah, he one hit Gecko Moria or something like that, you know. He just hit Moria like that, you know. So I feel like Kuma is way, way too strong than we anticipated. And the most insane thing about Kuma is that his version of the cyborg was capable of using Haki. You know, imagine if Kuzan cannot use Haki while he has his consciousness. A robot Kuma was able to use Haki. That's insane, man, you know. So I feel like Kuma needs to be respected. And you know, the nicest thing is that Vegapunk is going to fix but I'm still not sure that Kuma is stronger than Aokiji. He is 10. Okay, I won't say he is stronger than Aokiji, but Aokiji is not pegging Kuma. That's what I'm saying too, you know. I'm not saying that Kuma is stronger than Kuzan or Aokiji, but I feel like he can put up a fight. He can not even put up a fight. It can be a fight to death. We don't know how it's going to end because it's never going to come to fruition, you know. But Kuma is fighting with Kuzan without a doubt, without a doubt, man. In fact, Kuma is even insane. You know, he can transport his opponents straight to the ocean. You know, if he doesn't want to fight you, he can just teleport you to the middle of the ocean and then you're just dead. You know, Kuma is way too strong. He can teleport you to Punk Hazard whereby you're gonna be stuck in a volcano or something. Just Kuma is insane, man. I don't wanna lie. And the fact that he has Haki, we don't know who conquers Haki or something, but Kuma, man, let's respect Kuma, man. I feel like Kuma is way too strong. And then Marco the Phoenix. I feel like this is easily a B tier, you know. Otherwise, if Marco the Phoenix was successful at beating Teach, you know, in the War of Revenge, or is it, yeah, I feel like it's War of Revenge or Revenge of War, whatever. But if Marco beat Teach after the death of Whitebeard, I feel like Mako is right above Kizaru. No, no. Just because we've seen Mako stop Kizaru's attacks, it doesn't mean he can go toe to toe with Kizaru. I feel like everyone in B tier doesn't stand a chance against Kizaru. Unless it's no one in B tier. Lucky Ru maybe. Lucky Ru I feel like he can. This is why Ben Beckman is in A tier. If Marco cannot beat Ben Beckman, he cannot beat Kuzan. I feel like the only guy in A tier that I know can bring down Kuzan for sure is Ben Beckman. And then Hawkeye. I know this guy, they call him the painter. Mihawk is a painter. There are a lot of slander when it comes to Hawkeye, but I respect him as the strongest swordsman in the world. So I'm going to put him here. I am genuinely going to put him in A tier. I feel like Mihawk is going to be a Yonko tier character. He's going to be the strongest man in Cross Guild. He's going to be a very worthy opponent for Ranoa Zoro when it comes to the end scene, because I don't think these guys are going to fight while they're in the ocean. It's not going to be a fight to the death while they're still under pirate crews. Zoro cannot risk death before he helps Luffy become the pirate king. So I feel like if Mihawk and Zoro are going to fight, it's going to be after they find the One Piece and after everything like that. I'm not sure how Oda is going to write the story, but I don't feel like we have time for Mihawk and Zoro to fight. It might be a brief fight, a few chapters, something like that, but it's not going to be the fight we are anticipating if it is rushed. That's what I feel. And then Odin was a good fight for Kaido. you know Kaido thinks Odin is a very big pirate. Yeah, I remember it clearly. Like, yeah, it was Rocks, it was Kaido, it was Rocks, it was Shanks, it was Roger, and it was Odin. Yeah. So I'm going to put Odin in A tier as an honorable mention, as a respect to him and his legacy. And then Queen, of course, it has to be B tier. I feel like all the second mates or the main members of the pirate crew or the wings of the captain are in B tier generally. Rayleigh, old Rayleigh. Yeah, he's going to go next to Old Gap. Next to Old Gap, because if he's not as strong, he might be weaker than Gap. And then Prime Rayleigh. Prime Rayleigh is going A tier. I feel like he's going A tier. Because if we are talking about Prime Rayleigh, I don't see him being afraid of uh, Yonkos. Anime one ticket is saying, lost me at Mihawk not being S tier. No, I don't think Mihawk's blades are sharp enough to cut down Emo. No ways, dog. No ways. I don't feel like Mihawk's blade is sharp enough to cut down Emo. Is it though? We are not sure if he's a Conqueror's Haki user or anything like that. So for now, let's put him in A tier. Because even Dragon, let's bring down Dragon, because now it seems outlandish that we have Dragon there and other characters cannot be S tier. So Dragon comes back to the A tier and we're going to put him as number one, because I haven't seen Shanks. And then Rob Lucci, man. Rob Lucci deserves to be in B tier or C tier. B tier. I'm going to give him B tier. B tier. And then Gold D Roger. So this is just going to be okay. Let's see. Bro, Mihawk is literally stronger than Luffy and Akainu. I believe that. I don't wanna lie. I believe that Mihawk is stronger than Luffy, is stronger than Akainu. But he is still in A tier. everyone in S rank, I feel like should have blades or should have the power to head him. You know, I don't see Loki in this tier list, so no one is going to be. Oh, there is Joy Boy. You know, so let's wait until we get to Joy Boy. The One Piece knowledge is not that good, bro. Like guys, trust me. S tier is going like you will understand why I'm not putting as many characters in S tier as I would like, you know. So Gold Roger, I'm sorry. I am so sorry, Roger, but you were missing a lot of tools. Roger cannot be in oh my god. S tier Gold Roger or not. The Pirate King. Oh, this is going to get me killed. But I'm going to put him in A tier. I'm sorry guys. I am sorry, I apologize you guys, but I am putting Roger in A tier. Second character only to have a black blade, and the other character is the sword god Ryuma himself. Yes, this is why I'm going to put Ryuma in S tier. And Ryuma is the next guy. Let's talk about Ryuma. So next we're talking about Ryuma. You know, so we don't know if Ryuma was part of Joy Boy's crew or something like that, but it's fine. What if Ryuma is part of the Gorosei? That would be an insane twist. That would be an insane twist, but it's not him because we saw his dead body or his soul, whatever, and he has a craven one. You know, maybe it's Ryuma's brother or something like that. The elder that's from Wano. But Ryuma is going to be S tier himself because I feel like if there is someone who is capable of cutting Imu, is Ryuma. And Mihawk is he Ryuma level? I'm not sure. Bro, Odin could have finished off Kaido with a blow if you watched his One Piece, but he was tricked by a person who can clone himself to Momonosuke and trick Odin and gave Kaido enough time to knock him out. Yeah, I don't disapprove that G, you know. This is why Odin is also in A tier, you know, because Kaido respects Odin like that, you know. Zoro respects Odin like that. But the thing is, if Odin is put higher than these characters, we are clearly saying that Odin can head Imu. Yo, Oratile, what up, G? What up, Oratile, G? You know, so I don't think that Odin is an S tier character. I feel like Odin is Yonko tier. This is why we're putting him in A tier with the likes of Gold Roger, with the likes of Dragon, with the likes of Luffy, Akainu, Kaido, Blackbeard, you know. But as to him and Kaido, I feel like that battle is undecided, man. Till today, we don't know what could have happened. That's that's what makes that fun, that fight this fun, man. The art of not knowing what could have happened. You know, because I feel like Kaido had enough power to take down Odin. Some people would be like, no, no, because I feel like Kaido was a kid at that time, and when Odin fought against Kaido, that was prime Kaido. So Bromoria was strong at that time. Okay, the Kaido that Odin fought was going toe to toe with Moria, with current Moria. Kaido one shot, you know. But Moria was one shot by Kuma, guys. Kuma was capable of one shotting Gecko Moria. So what do we say about that? You know, this is why these guys are all like packed up and summed up in one group, man. He got weak because he depended on his devil fruit too much. Yeah, Gecko Moria got a bit weaker because of the things that happened to him and his crew, you know. I don't know if Prime Moria would have been that. Nah, but Prime Moria was insane. You know, Prime Moria was insane. I don't wanna lie, you know. But I feel like Kuma and Prime Moria would be a very tough battle then. But Kuma one shots at Gecko Moria. So Gecko Moria can be involved in this conversation, man. You know. This is a very tough one. But Odin is with Kaido in the A tier list. So the fight can still go on, right? Where's Kaido? Yeah. They are just opposite. They're neighbors, so it's okay, guys. Don't stress much. They're still in the same tier. And then we have Sadibo. Sadibo. So this is crazy. So Sabo has the devil fruit. We all know Sabo has the devil fruit too. In fact, it's a Yonko tier devil fruit. The Mera Mera no Mi is a very strong devil fruit. It's not as strong as Sakazuke's devil fruit. We all know that. We are scaling these characters at their current age. Oh, that would be a very, very nice thing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do current this day. So this day Sabo, this current Sabo, I feel like Sabo is not a B tier. He is not strong enough for us to put him in A tier. You know, Sabo would be in between A and B. So Sabo would be a B plus or a minus. So we're going to put him in front of what you call in front of uh yeah, but I feel like he's B tier because at this point there is no way as brothers they can be equal in strength. I know that Sabo is way way too strong, but if current Sabo goes against Luffy, he's not winning. I don't know about you guys, but current Luffy and Sabo, what do you think? I feel like it's not even close. I feel like Luffy would beat Sabo 6 out of 6 if Sabo doesn't try to outsmart Luffy. But if Sabo uses his brain, Luffy is down. He's out for the count. But I don't think Sabo has the power to beat Luffy. Even though he has the devil fruit, the haki, but I feel like Luffy would be a bit stronger, like a bit stronger, like. But the more I talk about it, the more it feels like Sabo deserves to be an A tier. What do you think, Chet? Where would you put Sabo, as an A tier or as a B tier? I don't wanna lie, it's a bit tricky. But Sanji, my boy, even though I love you, I have to put you in B tier. It's only fair for you to go against Green Bull because with your fire, I feel like you have enough passion to burn Green Bull's bushes, enough power to go against who is this Jimbe. But the thing I was thinking of, bro, Katakuri is stronger than Green Bull and Krog and Doflamingo and Hancock too. Yeah, he might be the strongest in this group. I don't wanna lie. Katakuri might be the strongest in this group combined. I feel like Katakuri might be the strongest. And then when it comes to Sanji, I feel like a fated battle is Sanji and Crocodile. Mr. Prince and Crocodile. Because when you look at Cross Guild, I'm telling you guys, Buggy versus Luffy is happening. No one is going to fight Luffy on behalf of Buggy. No matter how strong Luffy is, no matter how strong Shanks is, Buggy is the type of guy to still fight those two guys. He hates those two guys to the core. Even Teach, I know that Buggy has a thing against Teach. I'm not sure if they have that much beef, but I know that the beef between Shanks, Buggy, and Luffy is too big for them to admit defeat. Buggy has to die before he admits defeat from Luffy. That's just my thought. Green Bull is defeating Odin. Mid Div and Green Bull is defeating Sabo Low Div. Green Bull deserves A tier. I feel like Green Bull does deserves an A tier, but I feel like he needs to develop. You know, most characters that I hear, most of the like all of them, all of them are A tier characters. Look at Sabo. We know that Sabo is an A tier character because he just needs a bit of development when it comes to the Mera Mera no Mi. Just an awakening, maybe a Haki post, he will be an A tier. Boa Hancock, Conqueror's Haki, like Hancock needs a bit of a buff, like a Devil Fruit Awakening. Hancock is an A tier. Crocodile 2, Devil Fruit Awakening A tier. Doflamingo, Devil Fruit Awakening A tier. So most characters here, man, deserve to be in A tier. I don't know lie. Even Ru deserves to be A tier, you know. Green Bull defeating Odin. Are you serious, bro? Do you know how strong Odin is? Dog, I feel like Odin would it will take a but now, man. No ways. I agree. I agree there's no ways in heaven is Green Bull beating Odin. It's not happening. Oh man, I don't care if it's old Sengoku, it's C tier. Young Sengoku, I'll put him in B tier because he can go against these guys. But for me, generally, I don't like Sengoku. I don't like Sengoku. I'm putting him. He deserves D tier. Food as an old man, he deserves D tier. The Buddha Sengoku, man, I don't like this guy, man. He just sucks to me, you know. I know he's strong, but as a character, yeah, Odin got one shotted by young, weak Kaido. Yeah, man, it's just the Kaido and Odin situation is just crazy. I don't wanna lie. But the Buddha Sengoku, I don't like this guy. I'm putting him in B tier and in D tier. And then Shanks, I feel like this guy is next to his father, who is Roger. You know, he deserves to be next to his father, man, Roger. Shanks, man, is strong. I feel like Shanks is strong, but people have, especially Oradila. You know, Oradila told me not to put as much stock to Shanks as I am. You know, but I feel like Shanks has the potential to scar or to hurt Emu. You know, I feel like Shanks is Rock's tier level character. But Rox is also A tier because he wasn't really, you know. So I feel like Prime Rox would be S tier if he got his devil fruit, whatever devil fruit he wanted, and all that. But let's go with Shiryu, the next character. It's B tier. You know, it's not even up for discussion, man. It's B tier because he's not entering the A list. He couldn't even handle old Gab, man. Shiryu couldn't even cope against old Gab, so I don't think Shanks next to Roger and Mihawk at the end of A tier is just next tier cope. Nah, dog. Shanks deserves it. Okay, let me position these guys like the way I think their strength is, you know. First in A tier, I think it's Gold Roger. I think everyone can agree with that. Second, it's Shanks, without a doubt. I feel like this man is a man of his stature. Like Shanks is a noble man. Like Shanks is a prince. You know, he's a man chosen by hierarchy. Like I feel like that on its own should make you like understand his character and the power that he can possess. You know, it's crazy because this man might be still under Imu's control. You know, he might be a god knight. The next thing you know, Shanks might be immortal. The next thing you know, so anything is possible with Shanks. I don't wanna lie. Anything is really possible with Shanks. So Shanks is justified. Dragon I feel like is stronger than Akainu. It shouldn't be even a debate. Then Akainu, I feel like the reason why I am putting Luffy in front. Okay, let me not put Luffy ahead of Mihawk. Let's put Mihawk here. Let's slide in a Hawkeye here. Yeah, and then we have a Luffy. Luffy is better than Kaido. He beat Kaido after all. Luffy can beat Blackbeard because I feel like Luffy has more fighting experience than Teach. You know, the only thing that sets Luffy apart from Teach is the battle IQ that he has. Teach also hates pain. Like he's a coward, a bit of a coward, but he's strong. Then Lin Fujitora. Okay, let's put Fujitora here, and then let's put Gab. Prime Gab. I'm going to put him next to Roger. You know, because this is the only guy that we know that was capable of this, you know. Yeah, and then no. Backman, I feel like current day Backman surpasses previous raid. So I feel like it's okay to put him here because I feel like the old generation is always going to be stronger than the previous generation. So Shanks is stronger than Roger cause in Roger's time there wasn't many pirates as now. So less to fight and power up. And the theory is that Shanks' Haki is stronger than Prime Rogers. That's true, G. That's true, but we cannot just put Shanks above Gold Roger and Garp, without knowing much about these characters. Because all of these characters, like the three of them or the four of them, and maybe most characters in the top, in the A list, we don't know much about them. The likes of Mihawk, we don't know much about Mihawk. We don't know much about Gold Roger. We don't know about Prime Gap. We don't know much about Shanks. We don't know much about Dragon. We saw Sakazuki fight a lot in Marineford, so it's fine with Sakazuki. Then Smoothie, now Smoothie has to go to C tier. I feel like the A tier now is fixed, but Odin at last is insane. So we're going to put Odin here because I feel like this the list is fine. No, no, Kizaru has to be the last man on the list. Kizaru is the last man on the list because Kizaru Kizaru was struggling with old man. Who is this? Rayleigh. He was struggling with old man Rayleigh. So Kizaru is one of the weakest in the A tier. I feel like there we are fine. So Shanks has probably the strongest haki in One Piece right now because it was compared to Joy Boy recently. So the Vista, I'm going to put Vista in B tier. It's not even Weevil, it's C tier. We don't talk much about the white beard though. Then the old white beard, I'm going to put him in. Oh, he still deserves A tier, but the way they were disrespecting him in Marineford, we're going to put him in B tier. The amount of disrespect that Whitebeard got in Marineford, it was just insane. But Prime Beard is A tier without a doubt. The problem is, where do you put him? I think we can put him next to these guys. Next to Shanks or Dragon. Okay, I feel like next to Mihawk is okay. I feel like next to Mihawk is okay because Kaido is nowhere strong as Prime Beard. It's not happening like that. Why is Kuzan so low? He is relatively equal to Akainu. Yeah, he is relatively equal to Akainu. But the problem is all the characters in between him. I don't think Akainu is taking these guys alone. This man was struggling with old man Gap, man. I don't think he's taking on Kaido and Fujitora is different. Fujitora is different. So I'm not sure with Kuzan and Fujitora. But I have to put him above Beckman. I have to put him above Beckman. I have to put Kuzan above Beckman. Yeah, thank you for that, G. Have to respect Kuzan. I have to. Even though I think Kuma can put up a fight against. Bro, how is Jimbe stronger than Katakuri? He is not. This is not. I'm not. I didn't position it as to strongest and whatever. No, it's not like that, man. It's just someone who is B tier, B tier, C tier, C tier. I'm not going to arrange them like that. But Rocksteady the bag. I am putting this guy here in A tier number one. Without a doubt. Like, in fact, let's bring back Ryuma. Bitch, come this side. I feel like Ryuma has to come back to A tier after this. No ways. Because in my lifetime, there is no way Ryuma beats Rocksteady's back. There is no way. What? To take down Domi Reversed, Rocksteady's back, you needed both Gap and Roger, and still they didn't take him down, dog. So that's just crazy. I don't know if Oratile left the chat, but that's okay. Yamato, oh my god. Yamato is A tier, guys. I don't care what you're all saying, but I am putting Yamato in A tier. Basically, like personally, I'm putting Yamato in A tier because, guys, Yamato is way, way, way too strong. I I feel like it's crazy how Yamato is. This girl was capable of stalling Kaido. Even if it's just 10 minutes or 10 seconds fighting against Kaido at the rooftop, man, but she still stuck out, man. So Yamato for me is A tier, and I feel like since she was training in 1 or 2, because she understood the power gap between her and Green Bull. It's just I know that she's going to be an A tier character. Yamato is way too strong. Okay, A tier. Let me not put her in A tier, but let me put her above everyone in B tier. I feel like she's B tier, and when she's in his final stage, I feel like Yamato is going to be A tier, without a doubt. Yamato is strong. Yamato is strong. Yasop is going to be B tier. Yasop is B tier. I feel like this guy is strong. He's really really strong. And then Zoro B tier too. It's not even up for discussion. It's B tier. We're not going to sit here and be like, Zoro is A tier, Zoro is A tier. No. Zoro is weaker than most of these characters. Okay, Rob Lucci, come here. Let's fix this list. Sanji next to Zoro. I'm gonna put him first because I like Sanji more. Yeah. And then Law, we're putting you with these guys. You're not surviving. Vista, you're weaker than these boys, without a doubt. Sorry, Poison. Sabo is up there. Boa Hancock is up there. Crocodile come back with Sanji and Zoro. Okay, Yasop can be put lower than these guys. That's fine. I don't think Yasop is beating Rob Lucci in a hit. Maybe he is. He is. Yeah. I feel like the list is a bit better. Marco and Queen. But the boys now are Marco level, so I'm going to put Marco here. I feel like the boys are Marco level right now because we are a Yonko crew at this point. So Zoro and Sanji are Marco level. Uh, I cannot put them apart. Even Queen come this side. You fall under this category too now. Whitebeard, yeah. LaRue also falls under the boys' side, but he has more experience in the seas, so I'm going to put him ahead of Sanji and Zoro. Crocodile, yeah, he's there. Shiryu, I'm going to put him here, somewhere here. Okay, Shiryu is stronger than Zoro. For now, though, he's stronger than Zoro. I feel like now the list is okay. Kid is stronger than the other guys. Jinbei has to come down. I don't wanna lie. Jinbei has to join the Master Trio. Yeah. And then we are fine. We're ready to move. Oh my god. It's the Gorosei. Bro, Sengoku is not B tier, not D tier, and Killer too. No, dog. Killer is not. Okay, Killer, let's put him in C tier. Killer is in C tier. I understand where that comes from. But Sengoku, old man Sengoku, we have no use for this man in the story. Okay, he deserves to be in B tier, but because I hate this guy and his legacy, let's put him in C tier. I don't like this man. I don't like the Buddha Sengoku, man. I don't like him. But now we have the greatest. I feel like, man, we have to put these guys in S tier, man. I don't wanna lie. I am putting all the Goroseis in S tier, guys. I am sorry. I know most of you will not allow such blasphemy and all that, but these guys are S tier. These guys are S tier without a doubt, man. Because this is the villain crew, all of them. All of them, man. Garling is also a elder now. But we're putting him all in S tier because even as A tiers or Yonko tier characters in One Piece, none of them guys are beating the Koroseis. Aren't we power scaling though? But we are power scaling, so let's put him in B. Even though I hate him, it's about power, right? It's about power. Yes, it's about power. Okay. So where is Young Sengoku? Young Sengoku is in A tier because this is power scaling. So did someone say it's fine. Bro, Shanks is stronger than every individual elders. I do agree the fact that Shanks is stronger than every individual gotta say members. But the question is, can he kill them? You know? The craziest thing is that it's not the fact that you are stronger than the Korosei or whatever. It's a given that Luffy was stronger than Saint Satan. But if Luffy was going to fight Saint Satan for a elongated period of time, he would have been in trouble, dog. Luffy could have died because he had no way to put down the elder. So it's just crazy. You put Shanks at A tier, fourth, cause his hike was compared to Joy Boy, but Ryuma not on S tier, while his power was stated to be on par with Joy Boy by Wano citizens. Dog, okay, so Ryuma will send him back. Ryuma was up there, but I feel like Ryuma is not stronger than the bag, dog. Ryuma is not stronger than the bag, dog. It's not happening like that. That I don't agree with, G. I just don't. I don't feel like that's true, man. Ryuma stronger than the bag? No, man, no ways. Okay, but it's fine, you know. Let's do this together. I will go through this with you guys, and then it's Jesus Beggars. This guy is B tier. You know, this guy is B tier. I don't wanna lie. And then NL dog. Me for me, NL is S tier, is A tier dog. To me, NL is A tier. I don't know what you guys might say, but not everybody can beat NL like Luffy did. You know, the only reason Luffy put down NL like that is because he was rubber. Or he is rubber. You know, this is the only reason why Luffy was capable of beating NL. But anyone else is not beating NL and his power level, man. We can change this? No. Warlord status. Okay. Now this is more better. Warlord status. Yeah. And then it's Yonko tier. I didn't know you can change that. Yonko tier. Come on, man. Yeah. Let's autocorrect that. Not Yanko, Yonko. Okay. And then Warlord status, we have Yonko tier. Are you caught up to the manga? Yeah. Which one is a spelling mistake? No, the Yonko is fine and the tier is fine. Okay, what do we put? Okay, okay, let's just say it's vice captain level. Vice captain. No, vice captain level will be very much confusing because, okay, not all. No, warlords. Okay, let's just put them at vice admiral status. You know, yeah, vice admiral. I feel like this is a very better position for them. And then we put D as fodder characters. Yeah. This is sounding more like a One Piece tier list. I don't wanna lie. This sounds like a One Piece tier list now. Okay, so we have Joy Boy. So Joy Boy is God tier. God level. Yes. Joy Boy is the end. Joy Boy is just a monster, you guys. I don't wanna lie. We all agree when it comes to this. I feel like Emu is stronger than Joy Boy because Joy Boy still needs his crew to fight against Emu. And Emu, of course, needs his crew to fight against Joy Boy because you cannot fight alone. But if I have to say personally, I feel like Joy Boy is God level. God level because we all saw the display of Haki. We all agree that that was crazy. Bro, if you're caught up, throw Goroseis besides Noshiro and Wakuri at BT alone. It was revealed they can be damaged only by Loki though. You know? It's funny that you just say something like that. You be like, let's put them in B tier because they can be damaged because not everyone has Haki. And we have to understand that these guys have Haki too. You know, it's the same thing that Scopa Kapan was saying when fighting against Harald. He couldn't beat Harald as easily because Harald was infusing Conqueror's Haki too to himself. You know, so it won't be that easy to beat the Gorosei stuff because all of them are Conqueror's Haki users. All of them coat themselves in Conqueror's Haki plus the regeneration. This is why even Straw Hat Luffy couldn't put down Satan. Because if Saint Satan kept on regenerating against Yonko Luffy, you have to understand that Gear 5 can manipulate Conqueror's Haki like on his freest level. Like he just manipulates Conqueror's Haki to the maximum when he's in Gear 5, he just plays with it. He is Conqueror's Haki in Gear 5, so if Gear 5 Luffy couldn't take down a single Saint Satan, no man. Bro, it's that Shanks is stronger than them because he can damage them and they can't regenerate. They can regenerate. I'm not sure about slashing attacks, but Saint Satan kept on regenerating against top tier Luffy. Like Gear 5 Luffy, dog. So trust me on this one. These guys are still god tier because not everyone can keep them down, dog. Start at god level. Emu, then Joy Boy, then Pirate King, Prime Roger, Yonko, Kaido, Admiral, Green Bull, First Commander, First Mate, Zoro, Second Commander, Katakuri, Yonko Officer, everyone else. I think that's it. Standard. You coming with a different tier list, I don't wanna lie. But you are taking your favorites up there, dog. You are taking your favorites up there, you know. But I feel like everyone in Warlord status is fine. Oh, I understand why you have Yonko Commander. I understand. This list is a bit contradicted. I understand, you know. Yonko Commander or the first mid level. But I feel like Warlords dog are powerful. Ebo? Yeah, Pilunjan. Sure. I feel like the Warlords are powerful dog. So I feel like Warlord status is not that bad. Because these guys are not weak, dog. Already. I'm not sure if you agree with me. But maybe we might add another category. Let's just see. Let's wait a bit and finish this list because this list is over. We have Bonnie. Dog, Bonnie is warlord status. Because if everyone here who is caught up to, so Shanks is above the elders. No, Shanks is not above the elders, dog. Shanks is not above the elders. Because even Shanks himself cannot kill the elders. They are like he is their biggest weakness. I do agree with that. He is their biggest weakness, and so is everyone here. So is everyone here, man. I feel like Teach is the worst because if Teach takes away their devil fruit abilities, they are just dead. So I feel like this Yonko tier list is tough to be here. And then these guys, man, we cannot underestimate them and their immortality, man. It's only Loki that's capable of killing these guys. Weren't these the same Goroseis who were thrown around by Dory and Brogy as toys? But with Dory and Brogy, it's a matter of size, dog. It's a matter of size. Like, it doesn't matter how strong you are, but if you are facing a giant, you best believe you're going to be thrown around, man. You know, they can blow you away with their wind or with their air, anything like that. But it's just a matter of perspective. And even Dory and Brogy, they were like, you know what? Let's fucking bolt, man. Dory and Brogy were like, I'm not up for the smoke this time, man. My lighting is really bad. Even Dory and Brogy were like, I'm not up for the smoke, chief. I'm out. So if Dory and Brogy were running away from the Gorosei, I feel like we have to put them up there. I know that they might be young gods here, but the thing is that everyone in young gods here right now, there is no Loki. Loki is the only guy who is in gods here. Look at all the warlords and compare them to each Yonko's first mate. What I'm trying to say is that some people who are in the same tier have huge gaps between them. That's why there's a diff. Yeah, I don't wanna lie, that's true. You know, That's true because you have the thing is, I am putting them here because they are all close to being Yonko tier. Between Yonko and Admiral level. Okay, I do understand. You are complaining about the huge gaps, the huge power gaps. But the thing is, okay, characters like Queen are already cooked, Nachi. Characters like Queen don't have any development. But characters like Yamato, Sabo, Boa Hancock, Doflamingo, Green Bull, Katakuri, Kid, maybe, Law, all those characters, dog, I feel like they have a potential to develop as much as Sanji and Zoro. You know, these guys are warlord status because besides Yonko's, the highest level of power in One Piece is warlord status. I know that first mates sometimes are way stronger, but if you are the strongest first mate, you are put in Yonko tier like Pac-Man, you know? I understand that all the first commanders like Sanji and Zoro, they are going to be up there, but when they get to that level, they will reach Yonko tier like Ben Beckman. But everyone under them, I feel like it's just Yonko tier. Even though you are strong, because look at Prime Whitebeard or Old Whitebeard. Old Whitebeard is what is in warlord status because Akainu, Kizaru, and Aokiji, they were disrespecting him in Marineford. He couldn't fight them that good. So I feel like everyone in Warlord status is just powerful enough to be considered strong, and they are strong enough to be capable of becoming Warlord or Yonkos. King and Queen. Queen is cooked, dog. I have no hope for Queen. Queen for me should be added as Vice Admiral at this point of order. But because it's a power scaling, we're going to put him in Warlord status. I feel like that's fair. But Bonnie is Warlord status. Bonnie is way too strong, guys. Bonnie can imitate whatever. Like, Bonnie turned into a giant. I was really hyped at that moment. Scopa freaking Gaban Yonkotie. You know, this is what I mean, Ratila dog. Like when you become maybe a first mate or a commander level character, but you are a prime level, you become a Yonkotie. We all agree that if the Roger Pirates didn't decide to fade away with history and just remain silent, these guys could have become Yonkos. I feel like between Rayleigh and Scopa, we could have had a Yonko between those guys, if they still continued their pirate ways, but they chose to be silent and all that. Kobe, Kobe is Warlord status. We have to put him up there with Yamato, because if you're going to say Kobe is Yonko tier, you must have lost your mind. You don't know Yamato. Dog, like we have to respect Yamato. Yamato is the biggest upscale to the young to the warlord status. So I feel like Yamato and Kobe are up there. They are the closest to becoming Yonkos with Sabo and Boa Hancock. These guys can be extremely strong. Like, bro, read above comments. Yeah, I've been reading the comments, dog. I've been reading the comments. There's a huge difference between Yonko and Admiral and the first commander level. Green Bull solo. No, dog, it doesn't. It's not. People might be like, Green Bull can solo all the characters in the Warlord status. But you have Doflamingo there, G. You know? Doflamingo is the reason why this list or this Warlord status is not a joke, G. It's not a joke. You have characters like Rayleigh, you know? Like, there are even theories right now that go as to say that Boa Hancock has the ability to kill, like, the Gorosei members. Because if she can petrify them, break them, there's no regenerating from that. So you have to understand that everyone in Warlord status is busted in their own category. Especially characters like Sabo. Sabo is just one awakening away from the Yonko tier. Boa Hancock too, if she gets an awakening, it's Yonko tier because she has Conqueror's Haki, maybe even all the types of Haki. Yamato was fighting against Kaido, man. Yamato fought against Kaido. Not one clash, like Yamato was fighting against Kaido. Pushing Kaido back, in fact. So it's just important. Current Sanji one shots Dofi lol. No, no way. He can't do that, man. Doflamingo is way too strong, man. I feel like the only reason why Doflamingo lost was just ideals, man. I feel like Doflamingo doesn't know what to fight for. That's what that is the only thing making Doflamingo weak. But as soon as Doflamingo fights against the world government or starts to position himself against pirates, he will be a very, very powerful foe against either side. So no one wants the threats of Doflamingo against them. Like, who needs a pet cage in their strongholds? No one, man. Like, I feel like Doflamingo can't be underestimated. A lot of characters can put down Doflamingo, but with correct buffs, Doflamingo can be up there, man. And then we have Ace. Ace, man, is Warlord status, man. I'm going to put Ace on the side of Sabo because these guys are the same. They're the same character at this point. Shiki, oh man, I don't like Shiki. I don't like Shiki. Shiki is a coward. Shiki left rocks hanging, man. I don't like Shiki. I don't like Shiki. So I'm going to put Shiki on Warlord status because I don't think Shiki is as strong as the main core members of the Rocks Pirates, man. Bro, King and Queen was at the verge of death itself and they were at 1 HP. King is enough to finish off Green Bull. No, no. I feel like even if King was, or King and Queen, even if they were at full strength together, they wouldn't beat Green Bull. It's impossible, G. So Green Bull is just a step away from being Young Gautier. I don't wanna lie. Green Bull is a step away from being Young Gautier. Oruge, Warlord status, I don't wanna lie. And then S Hawk. Oh my god. Me, I feel like S Hawk, man, is Young Gautier. I feel like S Hawk is Young Gautier, man. Okay, let's put him next to Zoro because Zoro pocketed this kid. So we're going to put S Hawk next to Zoro, and that would be the proof of Zoro's strength. You know, I feel like he would be okay there. It's not a stretch, man. It's going to be fine, bro. Green Bull got knocked out by Shanks Haki. Like I don't expect anyone in Yonko tier to be affected by Shanks's Haki. No one in your okay, NL can be, but no one else, man, can be intimidated by Shanks's haki in Yonkotia. I feel like everyone could stand. Okay, Fujitora was like, we cannot fight Shanks in front of civilians and all that. Yeah, as Snake is in Warlord status, man. We're going to put her next to S Hawk, to Boa Hancock. S Bear, S Bear, do we put him next to Kuma? No, Espe and Kuma are different, man. They cannot be in the same category. S Shark also in Warlord status. Lafitte. Lafitte is Warlord status. And Van Agua is Warlord status. Nah, let's save it. Let's save it. Okay, let's just download the image. Let me just download the image. Yeah. Yeah, that's the tier list, guys. Let's see if you guys have complaints or anything. Glenpool wasn't ready to fight whole Shanks' crew and Luffy's crew at the same time. He's a Yonko level character. No, dog, if he was a Yonko level character, he would have taken Shanks right then and there. Bro, didn't you even watch that episode? I did watch that episode, man. Everyone, like, was put aside, man. Like, I understand why you're saying, he is. Okay, okay, okay. Because he's an admiral of the Marine, he is said to be the strongest arsenal in the world government side. Let's put him in Yonkoti. Because people are going to kill me if I keep Green Bull in this warlord status. But I feel like the list is fine, you know. Imu and his goons here in God level, with Ryuma as the pinnacle of strength. But Rocks, man, Rocks, the Rocks issue needs to be discussed, man. Not you, bro, this guy. Oh, but I feel like this is the One Piece tier list, man. The only further character we had here was Cracker. But everyone else, man, I feel like is fine, you know. From this side, the list is fine. I feel like the list is good. What? That is crazy. That is crazy, man. That was insane, chat. That is very, very long. Oh my god. 47 views for the entire stream. That's low. That's lower than usual, but it's okay. I got new chatters. Yeah, gee, this is the end. But we can get into the predictions for the next chapter, guys. I know. That's the last segment of the stream, and then I'm going to try to go and select, edit the stream, and then maybe create a YouTube video, you know? A YouTube video. But let's go for One Piece predictions for chapter 1173. Oh, okay. So check pinned comments. Okay, so I'm going to check. Well, it's night time here. It's 11 p.m. Wow, where are you from, G? Where are you from? Where is you from, G? Where is you from? It's crazy that chat and this side. Oh. I feel like this is not okay. Yeah, this is a bit better. You from India. Nah, W India, man. Shout out to India. Shout out to everyone that side. Shout out to you, Londas. What's your username? Lonadez. Something like that. Shout out you guys. Thank you for sticking around. But let's get into the predictions. You know? I just want to do quick predictions. Let's start with the ones from the One Piece community and Reddit. You know? So, Murillo is saying he's a mod. We see Zoro's plan. Okay, that's the prediction. We see Zoro's plan. Of course, that's important because we cannot leave that cliffhanger like that, you know. That's one prediction I agree with. We will get to see Zoro's plan. Yeah. And then prediction number 2, Luffy and Loki do not make an appearance in the chapter. No, he's from India and I'm from Pakistan. What? Wait, boys. Wait. So, now it's time for politics. I know you boys might not be politicians or anything like that. But, what? Someone from India and Pakistan? Aren't those countries arch enemies? Or their leaders? I understand that their leaders are arch enemies, they don't get along, but the population has no problem with each other, you know. You guys are really actually cool with each other. L leaders, man, I don't wanna lie. Because you guys are really good characters, both of you. Very good guys, I don't wanna lie. And saying after Elbaf, NL is going to return to the Blue Sea to get stronger. I feel like NL would be strong enough already, man. NL can't be stronger than he is. That would be a very, very crazy situation. I don't wanna lie. That would be a very crazy situation. But let's go back to the predictions. So, look, Luffy and Loki don't make an appearance in the next chapter. So it's possible, I don't wanna lie. It's possible that they don't make an appearance. Point two is extremely. Zoro's plan will seem like a joke, but it actually works. I feel like Zoro's plan is going to work. It has to work because we don't have any plans as the viewers. Yep, they are enemies. I'm Muslim. I'll be trying to learn your language soon. I don't know which language to learn, but I'll be doing some content learning some of the Asian languages. I'm safe because I'm in the south. You're in the south of India. No, dog, you're not safe. You can't say you're safe. You need to stand up and fight against these crazy leaders. You guys don't hate each other. It's the crazy leaders that hate each other. Those guys suck, man. Those guys are like they don't know how to handle power. So it mustn't affect you guys as Pakistani or Indian citizens. No, it shouldn't. Sanji frees the straw hats. Yeah, that has to happen. So another prediction for the next chapter is that Zoro asks Dory and Brogy who's stronger, causing them to fight. Now that would be insane. Dory and Brogy fighting each other would be something that Imu would never anticipate. We see Sanji interact with the kids, which gets the attention of Summers. So Summers, I feel like it would be a Loki situation when Loki gets to the Sun Realm, like there's something I just noticed that there is one thing that is important to Loki. Only one thing. It's the future of Elbaf. We are not having India versus Pakistan cricket match this time. You are not. When last was the India versus Pakistan cricket match? That is interesting. When last was that? Because if you guys can play sports with each other, then I don't understand why you guys might be arch enemies. T20, 2027, 19, 19. Most you guys like you interact more oftenly in sports. I don't understand why you guys. I don't like cricket. Football is better. Nah, that's insane. Coming from an Asian saying that's insane, man. I feel like cricket is very fun, man. Even though it takes longer for its games to finish up, it can take up to 7 days, up to 5 days, up to 3 days, But football is the best soccer or sport out there, man. I have to say. Luffy hits it off with the squirrel, yeah. Like, okay, I feel like that's enough predictions, man. I feel like that's enough predictions. That is enough predictions. I don't want to lie. That is enough predictions. Any more of those predictions, I'm gonna hate the next chapter, because I still want to enjoy the next chapter. Believe you me, and it might come out tomorrow. There might be a delay, but tomorrow we are expecting a chapter without a doubt. And then when it comes to Blue Lock, oh man, Blue Lock sucks. This situation with Blue Lock sucks, man. But ladies and gentlemen, February has begun and we are getting closer and closer to April. And we all know what that means for us as One Piece fans when we talk about April. We are getting the return of One Piece, guys. There is going to be the return of One Piece, which I am interested in, I don't wanna lie. Like, I am hyped when it comes to the return of One Piece. I used to binge watch One Piece each and every week, man. I would watch it every time. So I'm really excited as to the upcoming events. Well, if Zoro does return, the Domi Reversed Giants, doesn't that put him above Roger and Gap? It does. Do you know what? It does, because Roger and Gap couldn't even bring back Domi Reversed Zebek. It does. Freddy, when are you continuing with Kindle? I was thinking of doing a Sabbath, a marathon with Kingdom, you know. I'm not sure when exactly, but with Kingdom, I'm going to be doing a challenge whereby I don't stop until I finish Kingdom. It's going to be a challenge, G. I'm thinking maybe this week. This week, maybe tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow. But I was thinking of doing a challenge with it, you know, and make it fun, you know, and give it a challenge. No, it doesn't. I'm not sure what you mean. What if what what is whole South Asia unite to become one single nation? Wouldn't that fix every problem? Oh, South Asia countries. I don't understand how that would fix each and every problem. That's insane, dog. How does that fix each and South? We are from South Africa, dog. I'm not sure if you are mentioning us too, or we are excluded. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't like to be excluded. No, that's not really nice. That's not really nice. I mean, Zoro being above Gap. Oh, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it does, dog. What do you mean? Like, if Zoro's plan is above Gap and like, I know that Gap and Roger are idiots, dog. You know, but if Zoro's idea really works this time, man, we have to respect Zoro. Then we have to respect him if his idea works, man. Because that would be crazy. There is no way you can stop Domi Reversed. We don't know of any ways anyone can stop Domi Reversed. Yeah. We don't know any ways. It's impossible practically at this point. At this point, it's partially impossible. Yeah. Oh man, what a stream! What a stream! What a stream! I really, it doesn't. Roger and Gap were fighting someone far stronger than Dory and Brogy. Yeah, it was someone far stronger than Dory and Brogy, you know? And to be honest with myself, like, there was no way that Roger and Gap would come up with an idea on the fly while it was rocks in the situation because these guys were fearing for their crews at that point. You know, these guys were like, we need to stop rocks from reaching our crews. That was the biggest challenge in that situation. It was just a very fun challenge, man, for Rocks Dizzyberg and Gap and Roger, you know. So Roger is very much different from Rocks. I feel like if it was Rocks in this situation, Zoro wouldn't have the time to even come up with an idea. Like if it was Rocks, bitch, Elbaf would be in flames. Who do you think this is? This is Rocks Dizzyberg we're talking about. This is David Dizzyberg. Come on. I'm a Zoro stan, and I'm telling you this. Oh, you are. It is crazy that you're not hyping Zoro like that. It's crazy. Nah, W honesty from Oratile. W alright because this man is on Zoro's meat for free each and every time. Every stream, this man is on Zoro's meat for free. He doesn't even need to get paid, dog. He doesn't need to get paid. Stop dick riding, okay? It's not okay. Stop it. Stop it. The military spending of Pakistan and India is very high. If they use that money on development instead, India and Pakistan would be better countries. Man, dropping bars. How old are you, dog, to be speaking like that? How old are you to be speaking like that, dog? But that's true, man. It's like the thing of America sending people to space while there is world hunger, dog, you know? Some situations will never be justified, dog. Some situations can never be justified with how the leaders are treating the budget and all that, you know. But when it comes to India, man, India has a lot of potential. You guys are smart, you guys have everything. Pakistan too, you know. But your military still plays a very important role because you have to understand that your neighbors are China, your neighbors are countries like Russia, and you know, military is important when it comes to war, dog, you know. it's better to get hungry than to suffer from war. I believe that's true, man. Because if Palestine had the amount of power that India and Pakistani had, it would have made a very big difference. It would have made a very big difference. Loki is a victim, by the way. Yeah, Loki, but no, Loki is not a victim. Loki had to be strong some way, though, you know. So when it comes to Loki, we cannot say Loki is way too strong for the story at this point. Do you understand that Loki is the strongest man in One Piece? You know, and we have to see him kill a god knight in real life, IRL. You know, and since Luffy is here, we are not getting that scene off screen, you know, because if it was Teach and Loki, I'm sure it would have been an off screen situation. Imu would have off screened that situation. But because dog, it's Loki and Luffy, we are going to see Loki kill some god knights, and I'm excited, man. Stop comparing bombs to glorious kings. They did come up with a plan on the fly. Roger came up with the critical Hakimasi thing. Yeah, that was a very sharp observation from Roger Ronalai, you know, because Roger just saw that this is just back and forth. This is just back and forth, you know. So let's just try to. So does this mean that everyone who is a god knight doesn't have a transformation? I'm sure it just means that, you know, because we haven't seen a transformation from Harold when he was taken or when he was being controlled by him. So it seems like everyone who is a god knight doesn't have a Zoan transformation or a mythical transformation like the god says. But yeah, man, that idea from Roger and Cap was really excellent. From Roger, in fact, you know, it works, but like not on you know, it's risky. That's the craziest part, you know. It's just that the idea was way too risky, but Zoro's idea doesn't come with this much risk. It doesn't. I don't wanna lie. Only America can do that because they can definitely print more money because they are USD after all. It's not even about that, you know. It's because they have a strong military, dog. People don't buy uh or people don't use the dollar anymore because they use the dollar. People use the dollar because of the military, you know. So think of this: if Pakistan or India creates a very very strong, dependable military, people will come and trade more with you guys because they will there will be formation of military vows, you know. There will be like military relationships with other countries that will come in with economic benefits, you know. So developing your military is one way of developing your country, man. I feel like it's very important, especially in the Middle East or in your part of Asia where you were plagued by wars for a very very long time, you know. Even like colonial colonialism or whatever, you know, something like that, man. To be honest, the Western made us fight each other by not dividing Ka- Kashmir equally. Otherwise, we could have had better relations. So this is because of dividing areas. It's it's not as easy as you can say, Chad. I don't wanna lie. This is a very crazy war, you know. It's really crazy, but it's something that can be fixed, man. As long as your two nations don't go to war, because you are nuclear power countries, man. You are nuclear power countries. To be honest, oh, do you know how much military spending is? 1.5 trillion annually, and $95 billion is enough to stop world hunger for some time. What? You telling me that Pakistani and India spent about $1.5 trillion? Nah, there's corruption somewhere there. I don't wanna lie, there's corruption somewhere there. Oh my god. So much money. Nah, that's a lot of money. 1.5 trillion. Like 1%, 0.1% of that money is going to make me rich beyond comprehension, man. You know? 50% of that money would make a difference to the whole world, dog. That's crazy that your country is spending that much on military only. And us as South Africa, we are spending 1 million euros, 1 million euros as military spending. Am I lying or not? Your country isn't spending that much when it comes to military. No, America, dog, not India and Pakistan. Oh, yeah, America, dog, is really focusing on conquering the world. It's crazy, dog. It's crazy. But it's better you guys have a military that America can fear. America fears India and Pakistan. But think of our countries, dog. We can eat food, we can maybe have better countries, better standards of living than you guys. But when it comes to war, when it comes to war, don't tell me about South Africa, man. Don't tell me about those other countries. Africa is in ruins, man, when it comes to war. Africa is our biggest war is our biggest fear in Africa, man. So as I'm saying, dog, I would rather be hungry today than to have my grandkids suffer from war 10 years later, man. It's just a situation of today versus a situation of tomorrow. That's it. Even if India and Pakistan combine their military spending, it wouldn't even come close to that. But I feel like Pakistan is different. Because while India has what's the population of Pakistan? Let me check before I judge. Before I make assumptions and all that, let me just check population of Pakistan. Before I make assumptions. What? What? No ways. No ways. You are telling me that in Pakistan there are 257 million people based in Pakistan. 257 million people. What do you do with that many people? What? I'm sure India is like a billion, right? Pakistani, what? It's estimated in 1.4 billion. India is 1.5 billion. Whoa, dog. What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you understand what this means? Do you understand? Like, let's say the biggest population in the world, or the most highly populated countries in the world. What? Yo, guys, that's insane. Some of your problems do come with the fact that you live in highly populated countries, you guys. Oh my god, India and China are far, far ahead of us, man. Here's my top 10 currently in One Piece. Emu, Mihawk, Shanks, Loki. I feel like we have to talk about his top 10. His top 10 is S. I would say it. Your top 10, G, nah, it's not my favorite top 10, I have to say. Your top 10 is not my favorite. Because tell me how, okay, Emu is currently number one. We all agree on that, man. I feel like we all agree on Emu. We are mostly populated, sadly. Our land population ratio is very bad, bro. It's very bad, dog. It is. But you have to look at it in two ways. With enough development, it can be good. With bad development, it is bad. But to back to One Piece, man. What's this? My current top 10 is Emu, Mihawk, Shanks, Loki, Akainu, Dragon, Blackbeard, Kuzan, Kizaru, Luffy. Yeah? How can you put Mihawk and Shanks in front of Loki? Because the only one who has more strength than Loki, or who is stronger than Loki at this point, it's Emu. No one else. Loki is strong. In fact, Shanks needed the whole of Elbaf for him to restrain Loki. Do you understand? So Loki and Shanks is not even close. It can't be close. It's not supposed to be closed at all. So I feel like in terms of devil fruit abilities, Loki comes ahead without a doubt. In terms of power, ahead, but in terms of haki, I feel like Shanks might have it in the bag. Shanks might have it in the bag, but when it comes to devil fruit, Shanks doesn't have a devil fruit, so I have to say, we can get a proper pay. We can't even get a proper paying job here. Dog, that's sad. You know, it's sad, man. You can't get a proper paying job. It's crazy that it's all has to do with the population, man. Oh man, the world is a very crazy place. So you're from India. We're talking like this. You're from India. No, that's crazy. India, China, United States, with 347 to 348 million people. Indonesia, Pakistan. So Asia is the mostly populated part of the world. Okay, maybe with South Africa and Africa there, you know. Oh man, Nigeria, Brazil, Bangladesh, Russia, Ethiopia. Wow. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. It just shows as to how fortunate we are, man. It just shows how fortunate we are. Now, I totally agree with the job part. Even in Pakistan, you have the same problem, the job problem. Nah, boys, you know, I will be level with you boys. At this point you need to go overseas. You need to go overseas, but you have to focus at a very young age. For that you need to be very focused in your schoolwork. You need to be very focused in a lot of things, man. But the world is a very big place. You can relocate to different places, even though that on its own is very expensive. But Africa is really much open for you guys as much as India might be open for us, because let me show you something. Like in South Africa, we have a very decent Indian and Pakistani population, dog. In my country, dog, in South Africa. Let me just change this. In South Africa, we have. It's not like I'm not saying I'm promoting for foreign people to come in South Africa or whatever, because it will create a problem, for traveling. In South Africa, how many Indians are there? Yeah, Indian population. I'm not sure if they will show it. You see, population size is close to 1.6 million. I'm not sure if that's clear. It's close to 1.6 million. So we do have an Indian population, also a Pakistani population. Even though it's not as big as the Indians. Maybe they are in the 70,000s. Yeah, it's in the hundreds of thousands. So the least dominant in terms of the Asians is the Pakistani population, man. You know, but there are problems in South Africa too. I'm not saying South Africa is a very perfect country or what, but we do have space for y'all, especially you two guys. You two guys, I actually would have you in Africa, and I would vote for you guys to be here. I don't wanna lie. I would have your back when you wanted to come this side. I would house you for some time if you would be open to sleeping on the floor. It's really important for me to point that out. But yeah, guys, it's been a 3 hour stream already, man. I really have to bounce because it's getting late and people have to rest. People are going to rest. Mara! Ma, mommy, mom, mama. People have to rest and all that. Freddy fast bear. Tariq, what up, Tariq, boys? What up? You are late, dog. You coming in as we leave. You coming in as we leave, Tariq. The stream is about to end, dog. We're about to bounce. Welcome, Tariq, man. This is our random view. One of our random chatters in our streams. But yeah, you boys, subscribe, like, for you to catch the next stream. What up? Nothing much, boy. I'm just chilling with our boys from India as usual. Chilling with our boys from Pakistan. You know, those are the most dominant countries in this channel. It's India. It's India, Nigeria. Okay, it's India and Morocco mostly because we don't get most people. Goodbye, boys, and goodbye. Hope you're good in Dubai. In Dubai. You are in Dubai. I'm not sure if you're still in Dubai, but hope you're good where you are, boys. And to you who have joined the stream, to new chatters, guys, thank you very much. W to you, W chatters, W chatters. Spam W in the chat, man. Let's spam W in the chat. Yeah, guys, like I'm going to have a stream for United Kingdom before my boy Oratile kills me because like each and every suggestion that comes from you as chatters, I feel like it's very important, so I really appreciate all the suggestions. So I really need to start with the United Kingdom before my boy ends me, and ends my career as it is. But yeah, I might be cooking a. Let me check how many chapters does it have? How many chapters? How many chapters does United have? United Kingdom anime have or manga? Yeah, let's check that out, man. Over 850 chap. What the No ways, man. No ways. I am not reading 850 chapters of any animes. No ways. No ways. What? No. I am not doing that, dog. I am not reading Kingdom. What? You must be kidding me, dog. Oh my god. I can't even find that Kingdom. Oh my god. This sucks. This really sucks, man. The T20 World Cup. We do have the T20 World Cup. Oh, it's not United Kingdom. It's Kingdom Manga. We have the T20 World. The T20. Is it a World Cup? It is a World Cup, right? I know that South Africa is winning it, man. We don't have to even. We don't even have to argue with that, man. South Africa has that covered without a doubt. Oh my god, it's 863 chapters. Okay, so I might have to start this challenge tomorrow, man. The sooner I catch up to Kingdom, the better, man. The sooner I catch up to Kingdom, the better. I don't wanna lie. I have to give this some time and cook up something, and yeah, I'll have to react to it. But yeah, chat, man, I have to bounce. Most of you have left already. I too gotta leave. I too have the right to leave. But I appreciate the likes, even though those mother suckers didn't subscribe. They only just liked those bloody mother suckers. Hmm? They do deserve to be kicked, man. You know. And ass whooping is justified for those who didn't subscribe but left. They're like, who are you liking? Am I to be liked? But yeah, thank you very much for showing up in this stream.